This stream is going to be a little bit of a different one. Today's stream, we will be doing a 100% completely honest stream. Probably not the best if people know everything about everybody, because we'll be real. Not everybody's a great person. So it is of benefit to be able to hide shit. I used to steal Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was a kid. 100 questions. Sometimes you just got to do it, man. And I want everybody to know today that every question that you guys ask me until this stream segment is over, I will not lie at all. I will only tell the truth on absolutely every single question that you all ask me. Okay? Let's just get into it, huh? So a lot of y'all probably know that I played Genshin Impact for a while, and I will admit that it is a lot easier to play a game that frustrates the hell out of you because you know it can be better and it just refuses to. How much does a Genshin content creator actually make? Right, that's a pretty interesting question. I feel like that's pretty damn interesting. How much money did I make? Because a lot of people always think, oh, Techie, you're obviously in the negatives, right? Because, you know, my Genshin account, realistically, I've spent under $150,000. I have spent under $150,000. But people think that, well, Techie, how much have you made? Obviously, you couldn't make that much off of, you know, Genshin Impact. So I'll take you from it. So it came out September 28th. So here is how much I made in August 3rd, 2020. $12,000 was how much I made before Genshin Impact even came out, okay? Which is pretty good. Like that's really good money. Like that's really good money, right? So that's pretty good. This was before, in 1 month. This is 1 month. That's 1 month, okay? And that's pretty good. Now, when Genshin Impact first came out, I made $15,000 in 1 month on the first day. So I went up a little bit for Genshin Impact. Okay, we'll go over the entirety of 2021. That's insane. Without Genshin, I did very well before Genshin. I did very, very, very well before Genshin. And people don't get that. People think that Genshin made me, but to be honest, I've been doing very good even before that. Is this after Twitch's cut? Yes, this is after Twitch's cut. Immediately following that, I made 14K, which was still going pretty damn good, right? 14K still going great. 14K again, very consistent. $35,000 in 1 month. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened with any of that. I have no idea. I don't even know what could have possibly happened here, but apparently it was awesome. After that, 25K, 28K, $39,637 more, barely streaming 146 hours, which was insane. 31,000, 33,000, 26,000, 34,000, 31,000, 34,000, 32,000, 30,000, $96,000. And this was the subathon. Now, here's the thing that you need to understand. This, first of all, that was a lot of time. And that was brutal. All right, that subathon, that shit was hard. That shit was hard. That's just Twitch. I also have my YouTube, which over the duration of the past 3 years of YouTube, I've also acquired over $600,000 just off YouTube over the course of 3 years. And then there's sponsorships. And I will let you know, there was a sponsorship that I did alone, that gave me $75,000 for a 4-hour stream. $75,000, which was insane, which was absolutely insane. The majority of revenue that content creators make is from sponsorships. Now, here's the other thing that I've mentioned before in a previous video. Well, you might not have seen it yet, but this is all money that I've made in the short term that's going to fuck me over in the long term. Because I already know when content creating's over, nobody's gonna hire me. That's why, for a lot of content creators, you got to make your money and hopefully it lasts you for the rest of your life. Otherwise, when I'm 42, I'm going to be working in a Walmart. So it has its good sides. It has its bad sides. And I'll probably be able to enjoy a nice 5-year vacation whenever I stop making videos. But I will say, as of right now, I owe more money than I have, just to be completely honest. And the reason why that is because I had to buy this house, which a lot of y'all know cost me $800,000, right? So I'm still grinding and I'm still trying to pay off all the money that I owe, because I owe Mizkif $300,000 and I'm hoping to pay him back next month. But money definitely is so stressful. It is definitely incredibly stressful. But if you're wondering, how much money have I spent on that? Well, hopefully that answers your question. What would you do as a job if you were not a streamer? That's a really hard question. I know what I would do. I know what I could do. But a life without streaming, a life without content creating is a life that I don't like thinking about. Even thinking about that makes me emotional. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. And thinking about losing that, it hurts. It does hurt a lot. And that's why I take drama so seriously. Because anything that comes between me and my dream, it hurts a lot to think about losing. It does. Streaming and content creating was one of the reasons why I started to be happy in my life again. It's been one of the best things for me mentally ever. It's my favorite thing to do. It's the only thing that I think about. And the thought of losing that, it hurts a lot. I never want to stop doing it. People always say, oh, I need to take a break from streaming. And I get that, but it's not the break from streaming that I'm taking. It's just a break to make sure that I'm okay mentally, and that way I can get back to streaming. Streaming doesn't stress me out, but the thought of having a bad stream stresses me out. That's what really sucks. Having a bad stream hurts. And sorry, I went off on a tangent real quick. Sorry, I got emotional there real quick. If I wasn't streaming, I think I would flip houses. I've generated enough revenue. I don't even know if that's legal, but I would probably buy a house, renovate it, and then resell the house for a better market price, if that's illegal.
Wait a minute.
If that's illegal.
FBI, open up!
I think that'd be a nice house, or a nice home, or a nice idea. But the other thing that I always wanted to be when I was a kid was I always wanted to be a children's guidance counselor. Doesn't pay that much, but I feel like the effect that a good guidance counselor can have on the youth. It's very important. They're in a very fragile state of mind, and having someone genuinely care for them and their problems and be able to offer them guidance when they need it is something that makes me happy to think about. So yeah, I think probably a children's guidance counselor. That'd be cool. Can you explain the story behind the concept of Eggy? How did it start and why an egg? Not that I'm complaining. And the cool thing about that is for anybody who ordered my U2s, the story, an abridged version, is on the back of the box as a nice little surprise for anybody who ordered it whenever that comes in. But my wife and I spent every single day together in the same room for about 5-6 years. And then she got a job offer at a place called Digital Extreme. Digital Extreme is the creator of Warframe. And for the first time ever, my wife and I were separated for 8 hours a day, which wasn't much, but to me it was a lot because my wife is she's everything to me. And so she decided to draw me a cute little mascot on little notes and leave them on sticky notes around the house. And it was just a little egg, little teeth, little circle drawing, very simple. But that simple drawing to me, when I would see it, I would get so happy. And that drawing soon became how I saw my wife, which was just a cute little creature. And it made me super happy. And so then I just thought, well, if this little picture makes me happy, maybe it'll make somebody else happy. And 5 years later, we now have the little egg, my army of little dudes. And I just feel like they're the cutest thing ever. I feel like they're just cute.
Next question.
How spoiled are your cats? I want to ask a wholesome question. My cats are incredibly spoiled. They wake up every day to a kitty soup or perhaps a soft pate. I have them their own running track wheel that they can use for exercise when they like. And I even have a nice cat wall for them to enjoy all-terrain activities like parkour whenever they decide that it's needed. Everything in my house was built in mind for my cats first over me. I have an entire room dedicated for them to just be happy. I have a cat room where we're not allowed in it. And it's just them to have their space and just play and have fun. Although in reality, they never leave my side anyway, so.
Next question.
If you could change one thing about your past, what would it be? Focus on fixing myself first before attempting to fix other people. Focus on fixing myself first before attempting to do something mentally taxing. I don't think as I was growing up, I ever took enough time for myself. I really don't think I did. And when I would be having a horrible time, if one of my friends had a bad day and needed a shoulder to cry on, I would let them cry on my shoulder while holding in my own in order to make them feel better. I feel like it left me with a lot of lasting mental damage because I never really took enough time for myself. And I feel like I may have made a lot of other people's lives better in the process, but at the same time, I think I made mine a lot worse by not caring about myself. Because how can someone who can't care about themselves care about somebody else? I feel like I could have given better advice, been a better friend if I took more time for me rather than some other people. What do you think might be the next innovation in streaming? I have a dream. One of my biggest dreams in streaming that I want to make come to life. I want to do a live action D&D session. But here's what I want to do. I want to rent a castle for a whole day. Probably cost around $10,000. Like the castle that they used to shoot Emmy's OTK introduction video. And have 3 main role players. And the role players will be decided by their own chat before coming in, where each streamer will do a D&D brainstorming session to determine the backstory, their weapon type, their cosmetics, and all that stuff. Take a week to prepare all of the props, and then have 3 main people. Maybe Esfand, Mizkif, Asmongold. I feel like that'd be a great trio. And they go into this D&D, and 3 characters are controlled by their own actions. Obviously, they have their options. They are limited. And then we have another random person that I would love to be myself, or maybe even Rich Campbell, that's entirely controlled by chat. It would be like a Twitch plays Pokemon meets live action D&D. And the monsters would be random streamers who would want to come and participate in this whole festive. And then also have my wife do polls in the chat and have her decide the monsters that the main heroes fight. And the chat could pick what type of monster they want them to be, what type of color they want them to be, what type of magic or swords do they use, and then frame live animate a monster onto the scene for our heroes to fight. And I think it would be a lot of fun. And then get a great game master in order to help narrate it and guide our heroes on their choices. I just think it would be a fun event. I think it would be a very fun event. That's a dream that I have, but I don't know if I'll ever make it a reality, but I really want that to eventually become a thing.
Next question.
As a creative person, do you ever suffer from fear of failure? I am out my worth as a person. The things I create due to low self-esteem. The fear of failure is sometimes so intense it stops you from being able to work. How do you find that balance between just enjoying creating while also doing it as a job? The fear of failure for me is so enormous, but it's how that fear manifests. And the way that fear manifests for me is motivation. It's never limited me. Fear never limits me except for my fear of heights, which we all saw the golfing stream I did earlier, which was a train wreck. But the fear of failure is kind of what motivated me entirely as a content creator. I was afraid to fail, and I was so afraid of it that I refused to fail, to where I did absolutely everything in my power to make sure that I didn't. There were even games that I played that I didn't even like, that I never liked, just so I could get more analytics on YouTube. Example, I'll just be real, Skylanders Ring of Heroes. I thought that game was shit from day one. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was awful, but I played it because I knew I could jumpstart a YouTube content creating career. And so I played that shit because I know that it's hard to grow in already established games, but everybody in that category was so shitty that I was like, yeah, I'll make a channel for that and I'll do better. And I did, and I was the most successful content creator in Skylanders Ring of Heroes. Okay, that is all 100 questions. Somehow we got through all of that, and I thought that was good.